Welcome to Histology.
Throughout history, people worldwide have shared stories about their origins, heroes, monsters, love, loss, death, and renewal. Mythology helps shape the ancient world by explaining things that seemed unexplainable. This is Mythology Unveiled. Among the most unusual and frightening monsters in folklore are those found in various Native American traditions. Yet, the most powerful among them are closely linked to the elements and to nature itself, from the legendary Thunderbird to the terrifying Wendigo. Among these elemental creatures, horned serpents were particularly feared. They appear in the mythologies of countless Native American peoples in the southeastern woodlands and the Great Lakes regions, known by many local names. The horned serpent was a mighty being strongly connected to rivers, lakes, and other freshwater sources. As its name implies, it was often described as a larger-than-life snake with a pair of horns on its head. However, unlike true snakes, horned serpents were sometimes depicted with short limbs, giving them a dragon-like look. Additionally, all horned serpents were said to have wide, gaping mouths capable of swallowing prey whole, from animals and humans too. In some tales, entire valleys. While the size and physical details of horned serpents may differ from story to story, one fact remains constant. In every narrative, the horned serpent is always an adversary of people, nature, and the gods. In a Mi'kmaq story, an exceptionally large horned serpent, with a mouth a mile wide and a body spanning valleys, was responsible for stealing all the water from the land, threatening the survival of the entire world. The monster's immense size, strength, and cruelty prevented anyone from trying to retrieve the water. Everyone, that is, except for the god Glooscap. Dressed in his most formidable battle attire, Glooscap confronted the serpent, slicing open its underbelly and allowing the water to spill out into the world. This water filled rivers and lakes all the way to the eastern sea. An Ojibwe legend tells how a great serpent named Mishi abducted and ended the life of the hero Nanabozho's young cousin. The grieving spirit caused the serpent's lake to boil and churn until the horned serpent appeared, whereupon Nanabozho assailed it with poisoned arrows. Close to its demise, the serpent caused its lake to swell uncontrollably until the waters furiously inundated the land in a final attempt to eliminate Nanabozho. Nanabozho rushed through human villages, advising them to seek refuge on mountaintops. The waters continued to rise until all the mountains were submerged by the flood. Nanabozho constructed a large raft, gathering humans and animals on it to keep them safe until the floods receded and the great serpent perished. These two tales not only portray horned serpents as greedy and ruthless monsters, but their respective defeats also lead to a variation of the Great Flood story, a classic theme found in nearly every mythology worldwide. Yet, it wasn't only gods and spirits who fought horned serpents. Occasionally, a brave human hunter or warrior gathered the courage to confront one of these creatures in battle, though never without some form of mystical assistance. In Cherokee mythology, a Shawnee captive was given the task of dispatching a horned serpent that could compel prey to approach it instead of fleeing. Should the captive succeed in his endeavor, he would earn his freedom. After locating the horned serpent high in the Tennessee hills, the Shawnee warrior created a circle of burning pine cones to safeguard himself from the serpent. He then fired a poisoned arrow into the seventh stripe on the serpent's back, its only vulnerable point. The serpent perished, and its toxic fluids flowed towards its attacker, but the fire protected the Shawnee youth, who then gained his freedom. In Lakota legend, the people were terrorized by a horned serpent of immense power called Unktehi. This creature was as long as 100 horses, its body thicker than the largest red oak trunk, and its scales shimmered with mica. Many warriors desired to eliminate Unktehi, not only to liberate their people from its malevolence, but also to claim its congealed heart. Whoever possessed it would gain the ability to charm anyone they wished, never miss a shot, and foresee distant futures. Many attempted to defeat Unktehi, but all who saw her would lose their sight, then descend into madness, then foam at the mouth, and then perish, as would their entire family. The only ones who managed to subdue Unktehi and seize her heart were two twin boys. One had lost his vision in an accident, and the other would guide him to the monster's lair. Once the pair reached the monster's dwelling, The sighted brother watched for the first indication of the serpent's horns emerging from the water. He then alerted his sibling, who discharged a magical arrow into the seventh spot on Unsejala's body, striking her heart and causing her demise. While many legends depict gods and heroes subduing these monsters, in the Northern Territories, the horned serpent's greatest adversaries were the Thunderbirds. In Anishinaabe mythology, it was believed that the Thunderbird controlled the upper world, while the underworld was governed by the great horned serpent. The Thunderbird would unleash its lightning bolts upon it, shielding humanity from its destructive power. In Menominee mythology from northern Wisconsin, the Thunderbirds were responsible for preventing the great horned serpents, known there as the mythical, from overwhelming the earth and consuming humankind. According to Lakota legend, the great Thunderbird Wakantanka came into conflict with the water spirit Unsejala before her defeat at the hands of the Hunter twins, when she and her followers, the Unsejala, sought to inundate all humans. Terrified, the people retreated to the highest hill and offered prayers for assistance. Wakantanka heard their pleas and led the other Thunderbirds into battle against Unsejala and her followers, rending the earth and driving the malevolent spirits away from humanity. Much like real-life snakes and eagles, horned serpents and Thunderbirds have been sworn enemies since the dawn of time. One side embodies the world's destructive chaos, while the other strives to maintain natural order. Native American mythology has produced a vast array of some of the most terrifying monsters in legend. Perhaps the most powerful and malevolent among them were the horned serpents. These colossal beasts, tied to fresh water, were in many ways similar to fierce dragons, massive reptilian monsters with insatiable appetites and uncontrolled greed, whose very presence was a dire omen bringing misfortune, suffering, and death. They were constant foes to gods, spirits, and the bravest of heroes. With their immense size, unpredictable ferocity, and command over water and other abilities, the horned serpents embody nature's perilous aspects. Some say that horned serpents still exist, biding their time at the depths of deep lakes, awaiting the opportune moment to engulf the world.